Hello fellow archers. Today is all about tying in peeps. There's a few different types of peeps that you can use. I like just a standard G5 hunter. Typically you want to select a peep that aligns properly with your sight. So I happen to know that this bow is going to work best with a 3/16 ID. It's a youth bow, it's smaller, shorter draw length. So the 3/16 will allow you to be concentric with the peep in the sight. I've also used a different style of peep that will straighten the string. So like when you pull back with your D loop, it will take out any peep twist. I like to take the peep twist out with the D loop setup and doing my peep adjustments. The final style that I also like to use on a lot of my personal bows is the Hamskea. The insight, I don't use the lenses, but I like the ability to quickly adjust the aperture size. But for today, we're gonna focus on just tying in that G5 Meta 3/16. Typically when a bow comes in, you will have a string that is in between your two strings here, just a thin piece of serving, and that will help to separate the string, just because it can be kind of a pain in the butt if you get off a little bit. The very first thing we do is put your bow in a bow press. We're gonna have to tighten this such that we get some separation between the strings here. Now if you're just replacing the peep, oftentimes people will just put a mark with a paint pen or something so they know the location, peep height, or you can just measure from the D loop to the peep height as it's currently set. That's if the customer already knows where that peep height should be set. But in this case, this is for someone new. It's part of the reason why I set up bows the way I do. I like to tie in the top and the bottom, but not actually tie in around the peep. I like it to be nice and snug, but I still want to be able to move it, just because when my customer gets with me to finally set the peep height, I want to make sure he's closing his eyes, drawing back, opening that right eye or left eye if he's left eye dominant. And I would like that anchor to be comfortable, and then I adjust the peep to his face or to her face. Sorry ladies. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to get this peep in between the two strings. I'm going to take out my little placeholder there. And there are a couple different ways that you can tie in the peep. It can go in two different directions. So I got it in between the string, and as you can see here, it's now going on an angle back towards. It can actually be flipped 180 degrees, and that would be the improper way. That way, when you pull the string back, it goes in line with your eye. Another key part of this too is when I first tie in the peep, I like it to be similar direction of the D loop. That way when the D loop pulls straight, the peep usually goes with it. So now that I have my peep in location, I loosen up the bow press so that it's a little snug, so I can crank on this a little bit, but that it's still held so it's a little easy to work on. To tie in the top and bottom, I use the BCY 3D from Lancaster Archery. I found that it has really good properties for this operation. Typically I'll go about 16 inches, cut that to length. And then for this, I make sort of like a U, and I just go through like that. And then I just tighten it down really well. The second one, you just loop back through again. We want to do this 3 times. So tighten, go back another time, back through, tighten. And then here, we want to make a loop, and then we want to loop it back underneath 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. We hold this string over, and we undo what we just did with these big loops. So it'd be 4 times. Get to the end, you want to hold that snug, pull that tight. And that's the first part of it. So what we wind up with is just a knot on the top. And like I said, I like to keep it a little bit loose so that I can slide it a little bit to make it perfect for my customer. Finish it, you just burn off the ends. Make sure when it cools, use that metal part of the lighter so it saves your fingers. So now I do the same thing on the bottom side. Then when I finish it up with the customer, I usually just wrap around the Peep itself. So I'll go ahead and wrap right around that Peep. And normally what I'll do is I'll do the double knot. So you loop under twice, you pull, wrap around, loop under twice, pull, do that twice, and then tie in the middle. Similar to the way that I do my D-loop knock sets.